Undergrunt.
I didn't see the damn thing.
I did it, sir!
Bless you, Martin. Your reward is in heaven.
I'd rather get paid sooner, sir, if you don't mind.
In a small little ship in the center of Mars was a sack of souls with experiment scars. When the second of the monk said, "I'll take two," and he put them in a rocket and he ate a lot of glue. And he shot them straight to Earth when they turned into babies. They were named Bob and Matt, and they rarely got rabies. And the monk made a movie of their whole entire lives. They were panoramic scenes and zooms of the thighs. One time Bob had sex with a ladle, and one time Matt lost a vet to a cradle, and another time Bob caught a dinosaur mom, and another time Matt bought a replica of Guam. And all this and more is on a DVD set, only $20.99 with the purchase of a gym. But if you call right now and say, "Where's my whisk?" we'll include this bonus disc.
Hey, welcome to Bonus Disc. I'm one of your hosts, Bob Russell. He's another host, Matt P.A.
Hello.
Is the official friend of the show, Shawn Jones.
Hello, hello, hello.
Hey, Shawn, you brought a movie, sort of.
I
a
did.
movie. It is a movie. It
It
counts
was made
as
into a movie.
It's the first ever Sci-Fi Channel movie.
Yes.
Yeah, I think I watched this, man. I mean, we'll get into the cell memory later, but
I half watched it right now.
Right.
So
It's going to be a fun
I
episode.
think
if
I
you see
saw
it
this-
twice, it makes up for the half time that I saw
I
it.
might have seen this when
I've
I was like
seen it.
9 and not remembered it.
Right.
Like not being able to actually
Man,
remember
9. This movie
it. I would have
at
been
9.
Yeah, I was
would've
9
been-
years old when this
It was
aired,
testing my patience in my 30s. So, we watched Mr. Stitch, starring Rutger Hauer,
Boom.
Yep.
Taylor Negron,
Uh-huh.
Wil Wheaton, and I'm missing one.
Nia Peeples.
Nia Peeples, right?
Dude.
And it's written and directed by Roger Avary.
Yes. It's got a sordid history of production. Basically, Rutger Hauer wanted to make a TV show, and I don't know if Roger Avary came first or, Rutger Hauer just liked this idea, but they started to film it, and it was very clear that Rutger Hauer was not into it at all. He stopped reading script lines and just started improvising, and they fired him halfway through the movie, which is why he disappears halfway
He does
through the
disappear.
movie.
The doctors just start changing people.
Right.
Yeah.
That's like when Taylor Negron
Right,
pops
yeah,
up
yeah.
and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, and basically they just after they fired him, they just kind of reshuffled and just made it into a TV movie instead of a pilot.
It's a shame because, I kind of want to see this show.
The show would be insane.
The show would be completely nuts. We will get into why.
We'll get into that.
But the show would be completely
understand how
nuts.
you would make, like, David Lynch could make this show, maybe.
Yeah.
I would want it to be that weird if
Like
they were
Twin
gonna,
Peaks weird.
Yeah,
Yeah.
If it was gonna be a repeat
Which-
thing, I don't know.
This movie is pretty fucking weird.
It's pretty
you
fucking
know?
weird, but once we'll get to it. Once
Dude,
it opens up,
this
it's a little
movie
too
felt like it was 4
cartoony
hours
versus,
long. to me.
Like,
It just really did. Whatever.
I like it.
I'm not saying I didn't like it.
We did not watch the best quality version of it.
no, we watched
And
the
the
fuzzy version.
the fuzzy and the audio was all kind of
On
like,
YouTube.
Yeah,
That's
right.
the copy
It's
we
never
have.
it's never been officially released on DVD in the US. So
Okay.
there are only 2 copies available. One which we'll link, and there's a DVD copy from overseas, but it's missing about 4 minutes of footage. So
Okay.
I wanted to give you the full Mr. Stitch experience. So that's,
I want to know what were they like? We can shave off
Because
4
it
minutes
seems
in
like
this
you could have
massive-
shaved off 45 minutes of that movie.
I think it's I don't know. I love this movie. It's very weird.
It's super,
But
weird.
I do enjoy it. I think it's just there's the TV movie version, and then there's the version that has all the profanity and a little bit
And
more
it's
gore.
widescreen too, right?
The DVD is, I think it's an unnatural matte where whoever picked it up for production,
They just opened it up. Yeah.
either opened it up or cropped it. You know,
Oh, God.
Well,
exactly.
you have that email, which is
Right.
Yeah.
I was gonna say
Yeah.
you talked.
All right.
You
yeah, we'll
emailed
get to
Roger
it.
Avary, right?
I did email Roger Avary.
Number one, how did you get his email?
It was early internet, so we're talking. This email is from the year 2000,
Oh,
a different world.
the year
So,
2000. Okay, sorry.
Yeah, I reached out
It's
to
a
him
callback to.
Right.
Early Conan.
On
Sure.
I reached out to him. He wrote back to me within 9 days. So I wrote, a good 4 or 5 years ago, I was working in a local video store and I came across a promotional copy of a little film called Mr. Stitch. For 3 months, it sat on my video wall waiting to be seen. Then one fateful night, as I was intoxicated, I decided to watch it. Thank you. And it's good even without the intoxication. To which he replied, that's the best compliment I've ever had about this film. Thanks.
Is there a period after the thanks?
There's an exclamation point.
Oh.
There is an exclamation point.
Maybe, I just want to know if he likes this movie.
Yeah, I'm definitely
I'm sure
curious.
he's not happy with it, considering what he was saying before.
Like, apparently it was a real chore to, like, get it finished at all. So,
Right.
to that extent,
And the
I
stuff
don't
with
think
Rutger Hauer.
he's very happy.
I mean, that's why you wanted to do this, too, is because he just passed away, right?
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, honestly, this was my choice for
your
my next
episode
bonus disc.
anyway.
Then Rutger Hauer passed away, and I'm like, oh, well, then we definitely have to fucking do
Right.
this movie.
He does disappear, man. I didn't read that trivia until after the movie.
Right.
But like now I think about it, man, he really does disappear.
He's only in like the first 45
Because they
minutes.
keep just saying,
Oh yeah.
and now this person's in charge of the project.
Well, it's more that we'll get to it. Yeah,
Right.
We'll get to it.
yeah.
Stop.
Yeah.
Bob remembers this movie like it happened, like he made it. Bob has every minute of this
Every
movie.
moment.
memorized.
Every
man,
millisecond.
especially the first half.
I asked you a question at some point during the movie, and I asked it before I looked at you, and then I looked at you, and I was like, "Oh, I'm getting."
Oh, he's not going to know this.
There's no way you know.
Oh, I was
you're gonna
asleep.
Answer that. Well,
I did. I have not yet slept.
why?
Didn't go to sleep last night. So
This is the perfect movie. I mean,
as a movie to watch, it's like we're watching a PM Entertainment movie or
no,
something.
no,
Where it's just
this
like
is very, just weird and trippy.
tits and
thoughtful.
explosions. This had like an hour in a white room
Yeah. Yeah.
where like nothing is happening.
The first
The
hour
coolest.
is stark white. Most
like
of the characters
blinding
are
white.
wearing white.
It's
All
like
right, let's
begging
just
you
do
to fall.
it.
Yeah, how does it begin? It begins the opening credits as somebody stitching a face together.
Yeah, a bunch
Right.
of skin together. Then we get
Then it's Rutger Hauer
Hauer.
kind of waking him up.
with the
And,
weird
Yeah,
noises.
he's got
I
this
mean,
like horse,
That
and like
hurt my
Rutger Hauer
throat.
comes up with like this weird carafe of milk, and he starts pouring it down
Just a
his
little
throat.
bit.
Just a little
It'll
bit.
smooth
Just a
out your
little bit.
throat. Like at that moment, I thought this was supposed to be a dark comedy, like more so
Right.
than anything,
Mm.
because the way Wil Wheaton's like,
Yeah.
like it's funny as shit. It's really funny.
This
But he's
is
in a
when-
full body cast.
Full body cast. You only see his eyes
Right.
at this point.
It
Right.
looks cool. I think the body cast looks fucking awesome.
No, it
Like
looked- that
if
looked
he never
fine.
got out of it, kind of a thing until he, you know what I
Right.
mean? I would have been
If-
like,
if-
this is so cool.
I agree. Like it would have been cooler if you saved the reveal of his look until
For
the
later.
very end of the movie,
Would have been like
or
when he-
to the last half hour. One.
Yeah,
or just
something,
when they
yeah.
get out when he escapes. That's
yeah, that
enough.
would have been good.
Stop
ruining the movie.
Well, that's
Yeah.
fine. It doesn't matter. They're in a also like
okay,
they're in
so-
a white void.
Yes, it's not
Yeah.
a room.
It's
It is a void of white.
It's a void.
Yeah.
All it
People,
has.
once they get at least 10 feet like away from another person, just disappear. They're
Yeah.
gone.
Yeah, they're like ensconced in light.
the only
It's
Absorbed.
insane.
It just absorbs.
They just
them.
disappear.
right. The only thing in the room is like this weird top hat device that serves as a bed, a couch, and whatever
It's
else.
God,
they
it's
need.
like
Whatever.
an
I want
indescribable
one.
shape.
I
It's just-
honestly want one. That fucking thing is the coolest thing in the movie.
I mean, I want the
honestly.
room and the bed. It's like I just
That-
want to walk into the
Right.
heaven and
That's my life now.
Right.
Dude, yeah, that couch bed table thing was the shit.
right. I don't even know where they store all the. That doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
Well, also, we've seen at this point a giant floating eyeball
Yeah.
that's darting around the
Oh
room,
my
just
god!
looking at
Right.
everything.
Well, okay. So the way that the opening worked in that scene was, you think it's a close up on the person in the cat's eyeball.
Right.
That's what I thought.
I thought it too.
Yeah.
And then you realize in the wide shot, it's just a giant floating eyeball that's
Right.
that's like twice the size of a human head.
and its pupil
It's
keeps like
big.
dilating, and
It
it's
is
like
big as shit.
yeah.
It looks like the Rastafari's.
Yeah.
yeah, but much better effects.
Yeah, right. Yeah. But
This movie is so 90s that it feels like you're watching like either a commercial or music video for most of it.
yes,
Yeah.
You
I
know
felt
what
like
I mean?
a music video effect.
Yeah,
But-
like everything was fish-eyed. Like Everything. It was
Everything.
weird. I was like, why is the
There was a lot
entire
of fisheye.
movie in fisheye?
And it's got that score from Tom and Andy that kind of like
oh my god, super weird.
trip you out as well.
Yeah.
So he feeds him the milk,
Feeds him the
and
milk.
then he tells him the
Oh my god,
story,
he
right?
starts explaining that he has.
Yeah, he tells him the story of Frankenstein.
Frankenstein. He
Yeah.
says that Mary Shelley wrote this book called Frankenstein.
And he's like, that's been the dream of me and a bunch of other people for a long time, and
Kinda-
you're the fruits
at this
of our
point,
labor.
I was like, man, did Human Centipede steal from this fucking movie? Because
Kind of.
at that
Probably.
moment, I was like, this feels a lot like Human
I
Centipede.
mean, this movie you could steal from it because nobody has fucking seen it. I
And no
mean,
one
it's just
cares.
like
Probably no
it's
one cares.
just
yeah,
it's one of those movies that's been lost to time, and eventually,
but it's on
Vinegar
YouTube.
Syndrome or something will pick it up. And
It's on YouTube.
It'll get
though.
rediscovered.
It's not.
that's because you're
Yeah.
like as you're saying nobody cares. Obviously, because
Yeah.
it's just sitting on YouTube.
It's sitting on YouTube. Yeah. So he basically tells what's his name is
Well, he doesn't have a name.
Doesn't have a
Oh,
name.
No,
Yeah.
he
Dr.
doesn't.
Wakeman.
Yeah.
Dr. Wakeman.
Wakeman
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
keeps
Dr.
calling him-
Wakeman.
He
what's
calls
the
him
subject
3.
He's subject 3.
Yeah.
Subject number 3, and he tells him the story of Frankenstein. He's basically saying, "You're mine.
Right.
You're my Frankenstein, but you're the third. You're
You're
Right.
the third
And he lets him
one.
know that he already has speech and knowledge.
But he has
He's-
no.
yeah, he says
but
you're
he
like
has
an
no
amnesiac.
cognitive memories of a past life.
Right.
That's all wiped clean. So he's like an infant, but he has motor skills and he knows how everything
He'll
else.
be able to pick up language really quick because he
he knows
it.
English already, but he doesn't know anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a really really detailed description.
And yeah, and like the first part of the movie is him just kind of training his body and becoming stronger, being able to walk, and then lift an insane amount of weights.
Yeah,
I
they
guess.
should
Yeah, they
lift
say
all
that
those weights.
He can lift more than a normal human.
Right.
Well, yeah, they're
Yeah.
like the guy goes,
Frankenstein.
Jesus, 550 pounds or something.
Do you guys remember the order of these events?
Yeah, first he learns how to walk. He
'Cause
falls off the thing, and
His
Rutger
ankles are all
Hauer-
wobbly, and then
Rutger Hauer says something weird. There's his creepy smiling at the screen.
Oh yeah,
happens a lot at the
it's
beginning.
really weird his performance in this because it's like he doesn't give a fuck and he cares too much at the same time. Like
You know what
he's
it reminded
really
me of?
he's
He's
devoted
hamming it
to
up.
like making just a weird performance.
it reminded me of Michael Ironside in Highlander 2.
Okay.
Like how he doesn't give a fuck, but he's gonna give it
yeah.
he's gonna
give it
ham it up.
whatever percentage he can afford.
Right. So he learns to walk, and
Then they show him picking up the weights.
we haven't seen his face yet.
No,
No,
not
no,
yet,
no.
not yet. And I think when around that time is when he has his first rage out.
Oh no, wait. He shows him all the books first before the weightlifting.
Okay.
I think.
Oh yeah, because there's still tiny
there's-
piles of books all over the floor.
And he starts telling them about facts and how facts are the only thing that matter.
Did you guys think when he
and
said like
fiction
you're gonna
is-
read all these books? I was like, for a second, I was like, are they gonna have like a Meteor Man type of deal where he's like gonna just
Oh, yeah,
touch
just,
the
like,
books or
touch the
something?
books.
You know what I did? I was like, he's not gonna sit there and just read all these fucking books.
Yes.
I thought they were gonna. Like,
I mean, he doesn't. He's in a void of white.
I
What
guess.
the fuck else are you gonna do?
Yeah.
And if they left you with all those books, you're gonna
Right.
read them.
And at that time, I forget what spurns it on, but he's curious about reading the Bible.
Well, no, I think that's why he learns what books are first, and the fact things happens because then he lifts the weights, and the guy says Jesus there.
Right. That's what he's like.
Oh wait,
Jesus.
no, he brings it up. So it is after the weightlifting is
yeah.
first, and then he shows him the books, and he goes, "What is
Yeah, what's the reference? Is that a profanity and
he has what is it scatological?
right.
And he's like, no, it's from like a fictional book. And he's
Right.
like, well, can I read it? And he's like, no, you got to read facts first.
the
and
movie
then
calls
you can
the Bible
enjoy
fictional, like
fiction.
Right.
straight out.
Yep.
Like
Yeah,
right
I
away.
mean-
Which is probably what endeared it to me when I first saw it.
Just fuck
Right.
that. No. Yeah, he's like, you got to read facts. You got to learn facts before you can read
This book
a
of
book
stories.
of allegories and myths and
Right,
stuff. You
right.
got to have like a base level of intelligence before you're allowed to do something like that. And then he also asks, doesn't he also ask for a copy of Frankenstein?
I think he does.
I
Yeah.
don't know if he does then, but like
It's
later it's a one-off that is just that he mentions the doctor said he couldn't find a copy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Then what happens? The one that's next. 'Cause I don't remember. I remember the first half like a big jumble. So
He reads him all the books, or he gives him all the books. Then he has his first nightmare,
Oh, the Ron Perlman. Like,
Right, well,
we
before-
forgot.
no,
we forgot Ron Perlman's in it.
No, that's what it is. So
We
the
forgot to
movie's
say at the
happening-
beginning though that
Oh, yeah,
Ron Perlman
Perlman's
is in
it.
this movie too.
Right.
The movie is happening, and it's just this white room with this weird cast man in it, and then all of a sudden, it's this dad and a kid driving in a car.
Well, first you see,
Right?
but the first nightmare is war, because you see a mushroom cloud,
Yes.
and then it goes to
I
the
do
war
remember that.
field.
Is that the first one?
That's the first
Yeah,
one.
it's like
I thought
D-Day.
the car was the first one because I felt like the car was the first thing I saw that wasn't the.
Mm-mm.
No,
The
it was
room.
it was just a short war flashback.
It was, yeah, the first one's really quick. You really
Yeah.
just see the mushroom cloud and like a second of shooting.
Okay.
And also just to rewind a bit, he has, during the workout, he has his first rage out, and he breaks one of the guards' nose, and he kills the eye.
No, that's what happens after his first nightmare.
Is it after the first night?
Yeah, because he wakes
See,
up. He wakes.
None of us have seen this movie.
I mean,
Okay.
you've seen it more than anybody.
Yeah,
No,
it's
so,
true.
he has
you know.
the first nightmare, and I'm telling you, man, I'm pretty sure it's the car accident because I was like, "What's happening right now?"
That I'm sure
when
of.
It happened.
That I'm definitely sure of.
All
That
right.
the mushroom cloud's
It
the
doesn't
first time. 'Cause
matter really.
Well,
It's
okay,
the first
so he
time you
has-
see color.
Okay,
know, in the
he
movie.
has the nightmare, the war nightmare. He wakes up, the eye is floating over him, and he goes over and picks up the weight and kills it.
He
And
throws a weight.
Yeah, he throws like a 50-pound
yeah.
weight at it, and,
And
it
it-
hits the eyeball. The
and-
eyeball like whirls to the ground. and-
Orange
Yeah.
sludge comes out.
yeah, like smushes like a deflated basketball. Orange goo and sparks start shooting out of it.
Yeah, everything
Like,
is
I
like
know it's
techno-organic.
It's a
in the movie.
genetic slab or whatever it is, but like that eye was floating.
It's almost
Yeah, it was
like
floating on
it's
its
more
own.
than just like we made a giant biological eye. It's like the damn thing was flying. What's going on
Was it
here?
It's like
recording
somebody,
stuff?
like-
Could
Yeah.
they see what it was?
They don't
seeing?
talk to it. They never
Yeah,
interact.
it doesn't
with
speak. They
Right.
don't ever reference that they can see what it
It's
sees.
just kind of record. It's supposed to. I think it's just supposed to be recording.
But they don't show
what's
you
going
anything
on.
that it
Right?
is.
No, no.
They never show you
It's
anything.
just
it
it gets
records.
murdered
It's
by
weird.
by Wil Wheaton.
It's
It kills it.
It's like if Videodrome, like they took their technology from
Yeah.
Videodrome somehow.
If you ever want to see a movie where Wil Wheaton lobs a 50-pound
This is
Well, he
your
just
weight
looks like
at
a
a
cast
floating
man still at this
eyeball.
point.
yeah. Oh,
I
and
did-
it's important to mention also, like the effects are cool. It's I believe Tom Savini's
Right.
last
Oh, yeah, Tom Savini's also in it.
like where he actually had first hand in the effects. You know, obviously
yeah,
he's still
yeah.
his company has done effects since then, but I think this was like his last baby. You know,
It's pretty
of
low
sorts.
budget. He's in it too.
Yeah,
He's on
he
screen.
pops up for a second.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So-
Strangled.
That's when Rutger Hauer like wheels in on his awesome little like.
That's much later.
When it's like
no,
Rufio
Like, he's
kart,
using
yeah.
it all the time. I felt
Yeah.
like I don't know. Every time he entered it, he was on that thing. I'm pretty sure
most of the
for
time.
the most of the time. I don't know. It was awesome.
It's so eccentric.
yeah,
It's
it
just
was really great.
His little
a little cart that he
like
rode
moped
around.
thing. Yeah.
It's like what would become a Segway.
Yes.
Yeah, it's 1995's Segway.
Right.
He like comes in. He's like, "What's going on?" And number 3 is just like, "I'm done being observed."
Right.
And he's like, "Yeah, I don't know if I can do that." And he's like, "Yeah, well, I'll kill you." And he's like, "No, you should just not." And then he goes, "Nah."
Yeah.
He's
pretty
like,
much
"You should
it.
probably not." And then he beats up that. That's when he breaks the guard's nose,
Right.
And like knocks the one guy out, and then like I don't know what he does. The other one just like ties him up, like
Just,
grabs,
or
snatches
threatens
him
him,
up, or
yeah.
yeah. And then he's like, "I have demands, and you're gonna meet them, or I'm gonna squish your head like a egg or whatever."
Yeah.
And he also threatens to leave too. I'm gonna break out of
Yes,
here.
he wants to leave, and he's like,
Yeah.
"Look, don't do that. Your mind will not process the outside world. You go insane immediately."
Yeah.
Which I love. Like,
You can't
he's
handle
like,
anything.
he read all these books. He understands physics and stuff
Right.
now. I think he can walk outside. He's not going to be like, "My God, a bird! What is it?" Like,
Right.
Which made me think. I know this was dumb, but it made me think that they were in like a city, and they're not.
No.
it made
No, they're
me
just
God,
in that weird like Scientology
Right,
looking
the
building.
biodome. They're in
the
the
floating
biodome.
eyeball made me wish it was like they were in like the world of.
That
Where like the fucked up plant world at the end of A Sound of Thunder, like
Right, right.
he would go outside and it's just insane, and they have to make these
Right.
super people for a
Now-
reason.
Oh,
Like he's a warrior.
I was
Yeah,
a bit surprised. It's like, I don't think it's a spoiler that eventually he leaves and goes into the outside world. That they did still have, other than the stuff from the government facility, there were like little touches that would like lead you to believe it's the future. Like there were like weird vents on the cars and stuff like that.
Oh yeah,
like the
yeah.
police
just
car
a
had
little
those
bit.
like
yeah.
Just a little bit.
I mean,
it's like how people still drive
Right.
cars
There's a
from
floating
the 70s
eyeball.
now.
Right.
So it's like, it's probably like 20, 30.
They made a Frankenstein. It has to be.
Sure.
It
But
has to
they
be.
got giant floating eyeball
Right,
technology.
the eyeball thing.
That sells it.
It's so
It's so
weird.
superfluous too. It doesn't add anything.
No, it's just a weird fucking thing to be in your movie.
Yeah.
I think it. Does he give him the Bible at this point, or does he take the cast off?
He takes the cast off before, because I think he already. No, he doesn't have a name because he gets his name from after he reads the Bible.
Yes.
So he's seen himself and he thinks he's hideous, and Rutger Hauer
Yeah,
explains.
well, now
like,
we get to see him, and he's like a million different shades of
Right.
people
It's
all over.
what is the dude, the bad guy from Punisher Warzone?
Jigsaw.
It's
Jigsaw.
Jigsaw. Will Wheaton played Jigsaw.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
That's what he
It's
looks
a
like.
better Jigsaw makeup than most Jigsaw makeup.
Right.
Right.
Uh,
And he's got like different people's hair.
Yeah, his
He's
hair
got-
looks crazy.
he's got, like, a hair metal
You
band.
said
One
it
of-
makes him look like a dog person.
Well, because
like,
one of his eyes is like a black person's skin.
around the
And
eye.
when the camera's not like on his face, like close up, it looks like he's like Barf's cousin.
Yeah.
He looks like a dog. I remember how you woke me up and you're like, Bob, you know what's happening in this movie? And I said, yeah, Dog Man is in
In the
White
toilet
House.
building.
The toilet building. I was like, because he looked like a dog.
Yeah. And all the doors are oddly like toilet oval shaped.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like everything in there was sort of
I forgot.
shaped like a
We
vagina.
forgot about the
bed
door.
It was very.
The bed
The
thing was-
fucking door in the room. It
Oh
looked-
my god! Yeah,
It's like a Star Trek door.
Yes, it's like
so
somebody
great
was
'cause
like,
they don't reveal
generate
it right
door.
away.
Like,
Right.
They just show it, and you're like, they
Oh.
show it in the background. You're like, what is that thing?
Yeah, when the door opens, it's just as white
Why
on
does
the
it
other
look like
side,
it-
and you're like, "There's what is the
What's
is
this
it-
upside down word bubble thing that doesn't make
Yeah.
any sense? And then it goes, and then
Oh
it
yeah,
opens
there's also
up.
it plays
And
music.
it opens up into another white room.
Yeah, it plays this like music when they open.
Right,
It's like
yeah.
doo-doo-doo-doo, and you're like, oh my
the
god.
eyeball and that. You're like, what is this? It does. Yeah.
As I said, it had like a Willy Wonka kind of feel.
Right.
For a minute there, like
If only Rutger
and they all had
Hauer
W's.
had a top hat.
Oh, that
and he
would
played
be
like
amazing.
a flute. That would have made this movie literally the best movie ever made.
I have a question for later, but what does the W on their things mean? Once,
Well, I think
once
it's-
we've gotten to
That
the
was
end of
some
the movie,
company
like,
that was.
I think
doing
it's
this.
Wakeman Industries. You know,
Is
it's
it?
Rutger,
Okay,
it's
okay.
Rutger Hauer's company, even though it's
Okay.
government contracted.
Gotcha. Okay. Fair enough.
Okay, so he's got, now we know he's the dog man boy thing. He's Frankenstein. He's Will Wheaton
Yes,
Frankenstein
and he's
now.
got a Bible now.
It's
Right.
so awesome that it's Will Wheaton. It's
And he continues to have the nightmares of the flashbacks.
Yes,
and
he
that's,
te- oh, that's
well,
right.
he names himself first.
He tells
Well, he reads the
when
Bible.
Yeah.
when he wakes up from the first one, he describes it to Dr. Wakeman as, I have all these emotions with no memories of what triggered them or something.
Right.
And I just woke up with them, and they're not mine, and I don't like it, and it makes me angry or whatever.
right.
And we skipped over the whole thing where he talks about like he's like, am I a man or woman?
I was just
yeah. When he
Where are my
cuts-
genitals? He
yeah,
says,
he's like,
where are my
genitals?
genitals?
And he's just like, well, you don't have any, and we thought that would make your thoughts pure.
Yeah,
And
they,
he's
they
like,
wanted to
okay.
leave him androgynous
heavy
and let him
commentary.
decide.
That's some
Yeah,
commentary
he's
right there.
totally binary. They let him choose his sex.
But he also
Yeah.
doesn't like go use the bathroom. Like we don't see that.
Right.
We never see him eat.
We never see him
either.
eat
He
either,
doesn't
yeah.
eat. He doesn't use the
He's
bathroom.
fully self-sufficient and he has no gender,
No gender. I don't know.
no memories. Yeah, it's just
Where's all his energy coming from?
yeah, I don't know. Rage.
right.
The rage of 88 souls.
Yeah,
He's
well,
like-
we haven't even
I
got,
got there yet.
Well,
yeah.
I mean, does he not tell him right here that he's made out of 88
I think
different
he's
people?
pretty early at this.
I think when
He
he's
knows-
looking at his body, he's like, "What is this?"
I'm
He's
made
like,
of a bunch of pieces. Of
Yeah,
Right.
he was like,
Right,
"We put
yeah.
you together."
because he's
Like,
got like the one the most goofiest thing in his makeup design is that one of his fingers is female, and they left the nail polish on.
Yes,
so
she's got like a red long.
You're not
nail.
gonna still have nail polish on your fucking
No.
fingernail.
All these bodies came from people who exploded or died in car accidents. Why
Right.
was that finger so like that fake nail still on that finger?
Why did it take
Right.
88 people?
You couldn't find like one corpse that was like
Right.
70% there. I mean, like,
Yeah.
Well, that's questions I had about it. How many stitches are on his face?
Also,
like the
like-
rest of his body is like big patch here, big patch here. His face is like a million tiny little
Yeah.
pieces. Like
It's
you
like
couldn't get
small
most of a head.
pieces.
You couldn't get most of one head.
honestly,
And it's all these
that
fucking
place
heads.
has so advanced. It's like you can't just find a corpse.
Right.
Oh,
A
yeah.
fully intact corpse.
Well,
Like,
question that
That
explodes
never-
my mind, and
yeah.
we'll get to eventually whenever, is that the fact that Ron Perlman is in that guy, is in Wil Wheaton, makes
but we
no
have
sense.
we don't
I know.
see.
How the fuck did his body get into him, though?
Yeah, I
when
know.
they needed
Right.
they're just like, well, we got all these, just take a chunk out of
It's
everybody.
like- it's
what
like
were
the-
they doing?
The lower third of his torso is
Oh
Ron
my-
Perlman.
No,
Like
it
that-
could have been like a
That's fair.
quarter-inch patch of skin on his leg. Like, who the fuck knows?
Yeah, and it sort of
they said 88
implies that
peoples, but there's like,
your soul lives within your flesh.
Yes.
yeah, we're jumping way ahead.
So, like, if you...
All right,
Yeah.
It's fine.
we're getting way too ahead of ourselves.
We haven't gotten to him leaving yet. So
When does the car accident nightmare happen?
Let's
'Cause that
say it
has to
happens
be-
now,
yeah.
because-
it does happen? Yeah,
Okay.
Because
soon.
he has the car accident nightmare, and Rutger Hauer's just trying to convince him that oh no, it's just all the books you've been reading, and
Yeah,
it
they're
couldn't-
putting
yeah.
things in your head that
Right,
you don't
right.
understand.
They're
You're
making
trying
and
to
he
process that.
plugs him into the headphone jack in the back of his fucking head.
Oh, yeah, he's got,
He's
like,
got
a
a
Johnny
jack in
Mnemonic
his head.
right,
thing.
right,
Yeah.
and like that transfers liquid to a cyber spleen.
This thing is like Steve Jobs' nightmare.
Yes, yeah.
Like everything is bright white, but
Right.
is this weird like Videodrome like horror. And he's like, no,
because
this is
it
fine.
is an
I'll just
Apple
hook this
store.
in."
It's an
Because
Apple
he,
store.
right.
yeah.
Because he has a nightmare again while
It's
he's
totally
got while he's dealing with the cyber spleen, and he rages out on the cyber spleen and knocks it over.
Is this when he
And
sees
it's-
all the organs that are floating?
Not yet. No, that's
That's later. Okay.
way later.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is when they plug him into the thing, and all the voices in his head start talking
Right,
at once,
right,
and
right.
he's like, "Fuck,
Fuck
this."
this. And he knocks over the cyber spleen, and it's organic inside as well.
It's all
Yet it's
orange,
sparking,
gooey.
and yeah.
And then it cuts to Rutger Hauer like sticking his end
That
of
was
his
a
cane in and
very
living
expensive.
piece of equipment.
Right.
What are you gonna do about that? He's like, I don't give a fuck,
Right.
dude. Like that made me feel terrible.
Yeah. So Rutger Hauer gets Nia Peeples involved to be
Yes.
his psychiatrist.
He introduces them. He's like, oh my god, I've never seen a woman before. He freaks out. She teaches him how to handshake, which he
So
didn't
yeah,
read
he
in
does
anything.
identify as a man.
He does. Well, no.
Oh
when
wait, before
when he
that-
asks him, he
No, you're
identifies.
right.
Yeah.
Before he hooks him up to the machine, he says, "I've made a decision today.
Right.
I've decided I'm a man." And he explains because I'm so aggressive,
Right.
and
strong,
and I'm strong, and I have anger issues, so I
Right,
think
right,
I'm a
right.
man. And then he's like, "I also named myself Lazarus," and he's like, "Oh well, I'm not going to call you that."
Right. Right.
He's like, "You're number 3.
Kind
That's
of an asshole names himself Lazarus.
But then he hooks on the machine, he smashes it, then he introduces the doctor. And what does she do first? She hypnotizes him, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, she's like, I'm going to ask you some questions. He's like, I'm going to ask you some questions.
And then when he
There's a
starts
little
asking
back
her
and forth.
questions, she's like, "Well, I can't answer that."
Yeah, that's
right.
you're-
And he's
you're-
like, "Well, that
you're-
was the agreement."
You're reaching into classified information, is what she said. And then she hypnotizes him to try to access his subconscious mind.
Oh, that's
and
when
then
the demon
the
comes
demon-
out.
That's some demons.
Dude,
Yeah.
This goes nowhere, which is a
It
shame.
Right.
doesn't go.
An
Yeah, it's so
absolute
awesome,
fucking
too.
waste of an idea.
Yeah.
Or I guess it was going to go into...
It could have in the TV
All right, well,
show.
Yeah, maybe in the TV show.
Yeah. This whole time, remember everything we're saying would have been a multi-arc TV show.
Right. Right.
Oh,
Yeah.
he at some point when they're talking says something that her boyfriend, Ron
he
Perlman...
uses just a phrase.
He says a phrase that Ron Perlman said to her once,
right.
and it freaks her out. So she thinks he's in him.
Right.
So when she puts him under, she's asking for him, but then this other voice comes in. He's like, I'm the darkness. I exist everywhere, and I've never found a vessel, and now you've given me one, and I'll do whatever I can. And she's like,
Way
off. Turn that off. And he like hits the ground and like, or he starts choking her, and she knocks him out like with the code word to wake up.
Like, what does that mean that happened?
Dude,
Nothing.
what a cool idea.
Was one of the people insane that he's got a piece of him in?
No,
I think it was this
I think
nebulous,
because
like, dark
he's like,
force.
because Stitch is kind of like Legion. The demon just kind of like, oh shit, let's
Like, oh,
get some order in
so
here.
much.
I can get in here and take over.
Right, right.
That's such a cool idea, and
But,
then
yeah.
it's never brought up again.
No,
Well,
it's
there are a
never
lot
explored.
of, and I don't know how much of this is like, I don't think it's really poor screenwriting as much as just like they had to fill in so many gaps because of Rutger Hauer leaving.
The
And
trivia said that
not only Rutger Hauer left, but like when he was there, he wouldn't read any of the dialogue written for him. So it's like
yeah,
they
it
just
said, the
had to
trivia
kind
said
of.
Roger Avary just had to fill in the blanks
Right.
with the script. So.
Oh wow,
So that it contradicts itself like a few times during the course of the film.
So there might have been a demon subplot,
dude,
which is insane to add to
Really
this
cool.
movie.
I thought it was going to end up being like the demon is just like this omnipresent force that's trying to tap into him,
Right.
and when they turn the fourth one on, it would just go into that one.
Right.
Or something, and then that we were going to watch Wil Wheaton in this other thing fight, which is not what happened.
I thought it was going to turn into basically Identity,
Yeah.
where everybody inside of him started fighting or something. You know,
Didn't.
it didn't.
Or
No.
what's a Split?
It could be split too. Yeah.
So we're.
It was
all right.
definitely more entertaining than Glass.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I didn't see it.
I loathe Unbreakable so much that I will not watch any of those movies.
I don't think you
ever.
should. What? Where were we?
We're still talking about the doctor.
Oh yeah, the demon thing
psychiatrist.
happens. She knocks him out. She's like, "Whoa!" She also just gave him a copy of Frankenstein.
Right.
Finally, and she's like, "Here's a copy of Frankenstein. It's my own personal copy." And Wakeman, Rutger Hauer comes in and is like, "What the fuck did you just do?" And she's like, nothing, no big deal." And he's like, "Yeah, you're gonna see me in my office later." And then what does he say to Lazarus? I can't remember. Says something to him.
I think I checked out on this part. I don't remember.
Puts him back in the vagina bed. And he's
Right.
like, chill out.
Chillax.
Yeah. Heal up. That was crazy.
And it's really
And then Taylor Negron walks in. I
right,
think.
right,
Right,
He's-
right. Taylor fucking Negron.
Or no.
Let's not go to Taylor Negron just
that's not yet.
because she appears a few times and she actually ends up talking to Ron Perlman at least once. Like that's how. Because at first it's just like a quick turn of phrase, like just something that he had said
Right, but then he
sometimes.
I think before the
But then he
demon
has
came
like
in,
that little speech, like that, like it's like 2 or 3 sentences,
To be clear, Ron Perlman is her dead husband,
right, or lover,
lover,
at least.
dead boyfriend.
something.
He was
We've
the
seen
head
them watch
of this
fireworks
project,
together
Right, yes.
and kiss.
before
Right,
Rutger Hauer took over.
right. Okay.
I think that might have been just before the demon
You don't
took
understand
over.
that all this
'Cause
stuff.
She's like, I want to talk to him, and
Right.
he's like, we're not going to allow that.
But she's in at least twice, if not 3 times.
Yeah, she's in a few times. I think
all
we're
this
just
stuff
kinda-
is happening in a white room.
Yeah, that's
It's
why
not-
it's so hard.
It's hard to remember because it doesn't change.
You go from a scene of meeting with a psychiatrist that fades to black into a scene of meeting with a psychiatrist. So you're
in a white
which-
room,
when
the
did it
same
happen?
room.
Right.
Yeah, the same fucking
Right.
room.
Same room.
Oh yeah, we skipped something where he did. What was it? Rorschach tests.
Oh, yeah,
with
yeah.
Rutger Hauer way at the beginning,
Right.
where he kept saying stuff like death and
rage.
Oh yeah, we should. Whatever.
But Taylor Negron comes in to replace Nia Peeples.
Well, before that, I think Rutger Hauer tries to go in without it shows him read Frankenstein, and then we get the full Ron Perlman flashback. chunk.
Right. Because he's getting longer and longer
right.
flashbacks.
He starts
Yes.
reading the book, and he goes,
More is revealed.
in the inside cover of the book is a thing from Ron Perlman to the doctor about the book, and then he starts reading it, and he's like, I feel like I've read this before, and then we get all the Ron Perlman flashbacks of him.
And Nia Peeples getting down and talking about the
that-
project.
I thought,
there's
I was gonna say,
exposition with the two of them talking about what's going on.
yeah, it shows.
actually
Is this
learn
where it
stuff.
shows like the burned guy in the helicopter?
That's probably a
this
little
it?
bit later, but
it?
it's
Okay.
okay because we've already met Taylor Negron because Taylor Negron's the one checking out each body from the victims.
You're right. So that doesn't happen yet.
It's
You're
a
You're right,
lot
it's the
going
good
on, man.
background. It's the good background.
Right.
It's the good Ron Perlman flashbacks, not the bad ones.
Right,
Okay.
right.
The first ones you get are the good
Yeah,
ones.
yeah.
And then Rutger Hauer comes in to try to like do tests and things, and he's like, "Where the fuck is Dr. Elizabeth? I'm not doing shit."
Yeah. You
And
can
that's
leave. I
what-
never want to see you again. And then
And
I
he's
think
like,
that's
"Okay,
it.
I'll
for-
figure that out then."
Hauer.
I think it is. Yeah, I think he leaves
And that's
after
when
that.
Taylor. No, there's
well,
one more
you
scene.
see a scene later with Rutger Hauer
in that weird ass
grate,
round
through the
room
grate.
Through the
with
grate.
the.
with Taylor Negron.
When does that happen? The
That's
the
pretty late.
circular
That's when he's.
chalk
That's when
room
he's
with
breaking out.
No, but you see it before that with the
You see
military people.
You see him talking to the military people in that room
No.
before
Is that during? Is that
That's
concurrent?
let's just say that's just
Okay.
one of the
Yeah,
nightmares
yeah.
that he has.
Yes.
So let's move to Taylor Negron.
Yes.
He comes in.
Yeah.
He's replacing Nia Peeples. He bioengineered his mainframe,
Right. He said his neural net. Yeah,
Neural
he was
net.
like, I'd like to introduce myself.
and Stitch is not having it all and tells him to go fuck off. Basically,
Yeah, he brutalizes the guard and is like, "Get the hell out of here!"
right. He
or I'll
keeps
kill
breaking
you."
the same
Yeah,
guard's
Steve.
nose.
Same guard.
What's his name? Rick or Steve or something?
Yeah.
He
Rick
keeps,
Steve.
He keeps fucking breaking that guy's nose and his arms and his fingers. He sends them away. I think that's like Rutger Hauer just lets him stew in there for a while.
Right.
Right? Because
Yeah.
I think that's when we get the
The military flashback.
yeah, the military stuff starts happening because he's stuck in the room.
So that's it. I can't quite remember
Damn it.
whether it's before or after he leaves the room that he has like kind of like the final flashback that kind of like syncs
Triggers
everything
the whole
up.
thing.
Yeah.
Right.
Done.
Doesn't matter.
I
He-
think it's
I do not
after-
remember. Just go. Just keep going
Okay.
forward.
Right,
'Cause
right.
If none of us remember, I mean,
he's
yeah.
pretty genius when he roughs up Taylor Negron. He steals his chalk.
Oh, that's right, the chalk.
So he
chalk.
grinds up the chalk and he blows it onto the scanner so he could see the which fingers were used for the passcode. And it takes him like 3 or 4 tries and he gets out at that
Right.
point. And now is when we see because there's a middle white room after the white room that he's been in where they're just like body parts floating everywhere like spines and shit like that.
Oh yeah, he gets in the elevator. Or no-
Before he gets in the elevator because he sees the probably number 2 head.
oh yeah, on the
Like the
table
other Mr. Stitch, and it's just a head, and it's
with the
screaming.
brain open and stuff. It was cool looking.
Right.
That was a cool.
And
I
film.
mean,
moves.
that's why I didn't want him to leave the room. It's like things will disturb you when you leave.
The
Yes,
head-
of course.
The head
They're
actually
like
talked,
beating
right?
hearts.
It was
just
just
screams.
It was trying
It was
to.
just
Yeah.
going, it was making the same noise he was making at the
Right,
beginning.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And then it had like a wireframe at the end where
Yeah,
they were
yeah,
trying
yeah.
to build out. And I guess they had abandoned the project.
I
But
feel like it must be concurrently happening as the meeting in the chalk room with the military. This is where we meet. We see
the meeting in the chalk room is a Ron Perlman flashback because Mr. Stitch saw that.
Yeah.
Oh, you're right because he's in the thing.
He was in the room with him.
He is in the room with him. But it happens before we see him crawl through the grate because he looks into that
Yeah.
room and that's the only way you
Right.
recognize it.
Right.
So I think he does have that flashback is what wakes him up to be like, all right, it's time to get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like a flashback of like a military person explain. It's basically explaining that the military hired them to make like super soldiers,
Right.
but they're trying to like do it ethically because of like
They're scientists.
yeah, they're scientists. But Rutger Hauer's just kind of like, no, I'm good. I got you. Like on the sly kind of
Right.
like shit.
And then we find out he gets out. Does he doesn't even yes, he does work somebody over before he gets into the grate, doesn't he? Or is that when he gets out of the grate?
When he gets out, because he goes after he sees the weird bodies and he's all freaked out, he like forces open the elevator shaft,
Right.
climbs up it, then rides an elevator, gets into the air
duct.
shaft,
Yeah.
watches Taylor Negron like check out of work,
Yeah.
and that's how he learns how to open the door with that guy's hand.
Right.
And that's when he jumps down and brutalizes that dude. But Rutger Hauer like walks around the corner and he does like a Weekend at Bernie's thing where he waves the guard's
with the
hand.
guard's
And he's
hand.
out of the movie.
Yeah, and that's
Like,
it.
bye.
It is kind of funny because he does like look. You know, he carries as the door closes, his head follows the opening, and it's like, I'm leaving the movie. Goodbye. No more.
It's my last shot.
Yeah.
Then he uses the guard's hand to get out.
And he did when he
he
saw
took
in
a
the chalk
jacket.
room. He sees the chalk room before he gets out because it's Rutger Hauer and Taylor Negron talking about Experiment 4.
Experiment. They're like,
no, before
Oh
Ron
yes,
Perlman.
that's right. That's
no,
right,
he
that's
says
right.
when he's in the
Yeah,
grave.
they're like,
In
you know what,
present
Nick's
time.
3. Let's do 4 now.
He's
Yeah,
like, what do
he's
you want to
like-
do now?
yeah,
He's
yeah.
like, well, we can just terminate it after 4's
Terminate
good.
it.
And
Yeah.
4 is
And
apparently
4 looks awesome.
completely. He just looks
4
like
is nuts.
powder on acid.
Yeah.
And he's got white eyes as well.
Yeah.
But like 4, he has Teflon skin, I think they say.
Yes,
and he's
like
completely
bulletproof.
emotionless. He's just a killing machine.
Which is
that
why I was like,
is
oh my god,
built
the
like
demon
Moby.
thing is going to be awesome.
Right.
And it
right.
never fucking happens. It's
It's
so
a really big
disappointing.
jump in improvement from 3 to 4.
Yeah. Oh, we made this like emo.
We decided we'd bleach this
omni
one.
person. Let's just make the bulletproof fuck machine.
Right.
Like,
Right.
don't.
Let's stop fucking around, guys.
maybe he shouldn't look like a goddamn mess. What do you think? You know, can we do that? Yeah.
Yeah, we can make them look
Let's just
all
not
the
cut
same.
the people up first. Let's just put them at. We'll just use one. It's nice.
Real nice.
Real
perfect,
nice.
Perfect choice of meat.
You're right.
Oh, maybe. Oh my god, this could be a prequel to Alien.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
This is where it's like God made man kind of thing.
Moving on. It's enough to talk about.
He looked like a space jockey. He was
He
all
did. He
glowing
did
with
look like a
blue
space
white.
jockey.
He did look a little like a space jockey.
I just remember, yeah, because I remember I was talking like, what is that? You could do that? Why are you fucking around with 3?
I
Right.
know.
4's ready to fucking go. Looks like you can punch through the earth.
Yeah.
Hit this
Yeah,
man
look
an
like
eyeball.
like a Guyver villain or something.
Guy for film.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. So he gets out. This is the moment.
He runs
Yeah,
out.
well,
He gets
he goes to
outside.
the
He's
lobby.
like, look. Oh, that's right.
And he breaks the guard's nose again.
Again,
Right, right.
he's like, please stop. Don't. I got a
Right.
family. He's gonna shoot him with a.
He's like,
M16.
oh, your lucky day. And he throws the gun down. None of the guards
Could have
thinks
just
to
picked it up
pick
and
it
shot
up
him right in his back.
because he walks out the door. He doesn't lock it or anything. They could have easily just shot him right
Well,
then and
the
there.
best
Well,
part
this-
is
this-
before
at
he
this
walks
point-
out, he sees the rooms,
right.
the red rooms,
with all the doors. It's
with
like
all the
chemical
doors, and one of them
weapons
was what was it? It
administ-
was
Chemical warfare.
chemical weapons.
Yeah.
Yes.
And the great thing is he sees all that, and then he walks right outside, and we were like, the door wasn't locked, and there's a room in like 3 feet in
Yes,
that says
it's-
chemical weapons.
That's
probably
the
have a
start.
bullet.
Yeah, like that's
There
what
are
you're seeing
4 levels
first.
to this building because they do mention in the Ron Perlman
Oh, yeah,
flashbacks
I
that
have
like
no access to sub-level 4.
Right.
Right. Where they store the chemical
every time-
weapons
that
next to the front door.
right.
Like
it just
the
gets
fourth-
fu-
the
this-
fourth
This
floor-
is the safe stuff, guys.
The 4th floor is where the 4th one is, and the 3rd
Right.
floor is where the 3rd one is. Like every
They have a
time they make
floor
one of
every
these, they make an entire floor of the sub basement.
Well,
Keep
which
digging
makes sense.
further into the earth.
Which makes sense with how
Prototype
vast
30.
the White Room was.
Right,
that it
right.
would be an entire subfloor.
Right.
That's true.
Right.
It was cavernous.
But I mean,
So, well, I
now
wanna
we're
just-
like out of there.
The movie,
Finally.
has been that white void and very kind of subdued.
Yes.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And then
For the
as soon
first
as he goes
hour-
outside, the whole movie turns into like almost a cartoon.
Yeah.
Everything is so
like the Wizard of Oz.
ridiculous.
It's such a hard left turn.
It's just so ridiculous.
No
from
pun
this point
intended.
on.
Right. Well, he gets out.
He looks at
And
the
he-
sky and he's like, "Wow, the sky is so cool." And then Taylor Negron hits him with his car, and he gets up and is like, "Get out of here! Move over!" And he just starts screaming. And now he's
Right.
driving the car.
He's driving, and,
And
it's
it
like
looks-
it's like Geo Metro.
It looks
It
like
looks
a
like
a
Geo
neon
Metro.
green Geo Metro.
No, it's yellow.
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 Sorry.
And then he gets chased by like these awesome like spider dune buggies.
God,
Right.
what a change in a movie! It's just like,
I was like, "Oh, it's an action movie now." Okay.
oh, a chase. Now here's a 20-minute chase.
Oh
scene.
my god, yeah, this
Yeah, it
goes
was really
on
long.
for a long
and
time.
before we get deep into the chase scene, he's got to like get information from Taylor Negron.
Yes.
Right.
And he's like, first he breaks his nose, then he breaks his fingers, then he breaks more of his fingers, and like Negron gives it his all with his.
he
full,
explains
yeah,
he's like, who the
scream.
what was it, the organization.
Yeah,
is that what they
there's-
called it?
Basically, you find out that there's a government organization and that there's a general or whatever head of the government that's in charge of it, who we'll get to again later. And then he's just like tells Taylor Negron, he's like, get out of the car, and they're in the middle of this chase scene. He's like, what the fuck? He's like,
Like if you
just-
jump out and you roll, you won't
Right.
break as many
You'll-
bones.
Yeah.
And he does, and it looks weird. There's
Yeah.
something about that shot that looks so odd.
it's like he hits
like
the ground,
Taylor
drags for a
Negron, like,
second, and then
slides.
Yeah.
then
Like,
goes away.
Yeah, it's really odd. But he's out of the movie then, right?
He's out of the movie.
There's
yeah.
no
He's
more
out.
Taylor Negron.
I thought he was going to get hit by the other cars.
No, let's talk quickly before we move on from Taylor Negron about the flashback in the war zone, where they're just identifying bodies that they want to use.
Oh,
for
yeah.
they're just like, oh, this one, is
He's got a couple hours left.
Right,
Most of his
right.
body's
and he like
burned.
goes to the next one. He's just like, this one. No, never mind that one.
It's just charred,
But, like,
hands sticking up from
Yeah.
the
The funny
frame.
thing
It's
is,
really
like that,
funny.
there is that scene, but like from the way Wil Wheaton looks, you think it would be like, okay, I want you to use the upper 1-inch quadrant of this
Yeah.
one's cheek.
Yep. Just cut.
I don't.
inch
I
off
don't want
his-
anything else. Just that piece.
There's a part on his face that's just like this tiny sliver
Right.
under his lip, and I was
Yeah.
like, why? Like,
Yeah,
why couldn't
right.
you just connect something, like, or use bigger pieces?
There had to be
It's
a
a
face.
head!
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
You couldn't find a head.
God,
Okay, so Taylor Negron
It's
jumps
just
out of the car.
mind-boggling.
He's out of the movie,
yes.
and
Then
now
the car
Wil Wheaton
chase
is being
keeps
chased
going.
by go-karts.
Right.
he gets to.
There's some ridiculous stunt work too. Like when he
Oh
knocks,
my God.
he like rams
Well-
sideways into
Oh,
into
yeah,
this
it
truck's
turns it-
tire, and the truck flies backwards off a
The
cliff.
greatest moment in the movie.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
please,
and then
please.
The truck blows up, and a puff of smoke that turns into a skull.
Right.
What the fuck is going
Dude,
on?
you asked that, and I was like, the demon's in him. That's the demon in
But
him.
he wasn't
Right.
in that car. It's
I
just like,
know.
is he projecting it?
There was nothing to like.
There's no reason for that car.
What if that was
You know what it
something they
reminded
made
me
at
of?
that lab? We made cars that when they blow up, they turn into skulls of
I'll
smoke.
tell you what it reminded me of, which is relevant to you only because you weren't on the episode, and I'm sorry.
Okay.
It reminded me of Hurricane Heist with the
Oh yeah, the skull
the
in the
skull
cloud.
that was in like the
storm cloud?
Yeah.
clouds. Yeah.
Fuck.
There's
Yeah.
no reason
It
why that
shouldn't have been
skull
Not at
there.
all.
Yeah, it should not have been there.
Yeah.
It was just a weird stylistic touch, like compared to like the stark reality of the outside world.
Right,
But
yeah. But it was the car.
But this is like why I'm saying it
clears
turned
a
into
whole
a cartoon.
cliff.
it was.
It was like what?
totally
There's
like a Warner Brothers
skull
cartoon.
things. He's like throwing them out of the car. It's all like slapstick at
Yeah.
this point.
Right. What the
He's
hell's
like
going
cracking
on?
jokes now.
We were just in a white toilet room, and then now we're doing
Right.
this.
So
we were there for so long.
I know.
eventually, he evades the two dune buggies
Well, he
by
gets
going on
to
the
the
opposite
point.
side of the road.
We know Ron Perlman died, and we've seen this family guy die with his son in the car.
Right.
And when he's escaping, he gets to the point where both of them died in the same accident.
Right.
It's the amount of coincidence.
It's great.
Because earlier somebody was like, or no, well, no, I guess it's after this. But we see that that's the car accident that killed all those people that are now inside his body somehow. But he doesn't crash. He like avoids it and gets over to the other lane and is driving against traffic. And somehow that is the safe way to escape.
Yes.
It
Is to
works.
and
Yeah.
somehow that works. They're just like, well, he went the other way.
Right.
We can never do
We
the
can
same
never find
thing.
him again. But he goes to the mother's house, so the husband and son,
Yes.
and he
It's a little RoboCopy.
Yeah,
Yes,
and
yeah.
he goes. He knows that the son had hidden some stuff in a vent,
Right.
and the mother passes out as soon as he opens the door.
Yeah,
Right.
he says her name and she passes out, and then he
Right.
snatches.
You look like a
some-
bunch of fucking meat.
So she wakes up using words that her husband had used with her,
Right.
and she's still scared when he wakes up.
Oh, it's been an hour.
We're almost
We're
done.
We're actually
No,
almost done.
done.
We're pretty
We're
close.
very close.
Yeah.
He wakes up and he hands her a scroll
But he gives her a
and-
speech about all that shit
Right.
first, where
about
he's
how
like,
much
"We
he
love
loves
you.
her, and
Please move on with your life. You need to. But we'll love you forever.
Right,
We never
right.
told you enough."
he takes off like Steve Buscemi just shot somebody in Billy Madison. And she opens up the piece of paper, and it's a picture her son drew for her for Valentine's Day, and it like emotionally destroys her.
Done, man.
So like the plot of the TV show would have been like we
Him
discussed,
visiting
people and just
Is meet
wrecking
people.
them. It's just
And
like,
quieting all the
hey, remember
voices
this?
in his head.
Remember this death you just got over?
Right.
Bam! You fucking need a psychiatrist.
I've got your.
Call Nia People. She needs work.
How great would it have been like Wil Wheaton breaking into somebody's house, be like, "Your mother's finger is on my hand. Don't you understand?" And it's just like, all right, bye.
Thanks or whatever. Damn it. Can I have her finger?
You've just been Lazarus. Bye.
You've been Lazarus.
I guess the TV show would probably been called Lazarus.
Yeah, probably.
And not Mr. Stitch.
not Mr.
'cause
Stitch.
He was going out of the show. Yeah.
I guess also, like, I
Well,
don't
they
know.
say Ron Perlman refers to 3 as Mr. Stitch
Yeah.
at one point.
That's true. Yeah,
That is-
he is stitched.
Yes. Anyway,
what happened?
I guess the demon
He
could have
goes
been a thing
to
in the
Nia
show where as he
Peoples.
quiets the voices in his
The
mind,
demon
the
takes
demon gets
place
more
because
and
he's a
more
hollow.
power.
First we get that ridiculous talking about comic book scenes. We get the 2 cops in the car talking about how there's
But
an
no,
APB.
that's not yet. That's when he's going back in. He still has to go to. He does that, and then he goes to Dr. English.
Yeah, right.
Did
Okay,
we
I
say
couldn't
that?
remember where the cops were before. or
Yeah,
after.
It's
Dr.
after that
English.
because then he talks to her and then he's like, This is over with."
Right.
Okay, he goes to. He breaks in, he breaks in. He knows how to get in because he knows where Ron Perlman hides the key
hides
to
the
the
key.
house, and she like wakes up and doesn't like
She's not
freak out
phased
at all.
She's just like, oh, Lazarus.
Oh, hey,
Yeah,
Lazarus, you're in my bedroom. After I got like fired from my job because you're a secret government project. You're just standing in my bedroom. What's up? And he's like, I love you, and I always have. And the same shit. Tries to like
I'm gonna
destroy
end
her.
this. Right.
But then he goes like, but this is when he says, Dr. Tazarian, which is Ron Perlman, died trying to expose what they're gonna do.
right, but he died.
But he
in the
didn't. He
car
died in a
accident.
random ass
Car
car accident with
accident.
some dude and his kid,
Right.
whose name was Thorn. So, what?
I guess they're implying that he was
He's
like
a good
racing fast to the lab.
Maybe he
or
was
from
either
the
racing
lab.
fast or they
I guess.
did something to his
guess.
car that caused it,
Right. Yeah.
and it
Sabotage.
just happened that the other family was
Right.
involved in that.
That line, I was like,
Level
what?
of coincidence.
It does
is-
not matter. It doesn't
But yeah,
matter.
it just made me
We're
laugh
almost
when he
there.
said it. I was like, he
almost
just killed
there.
the
But we're
man
close.
and his son.
So let's go to the cops. There's like these
Yeah.
Keystone fucking cops from Hollywood.
Bruce McCullough and Dave Foley.
Right.
And
Well, it
Mark
felt like the
McKinney.
cops in like Halloween 5.
Yeah,
where it's
yeah.
just
Well,
like
the
this
one
weird
guy's trying
comic relief.
so hard to sound like a grizzled police
Right.
officer.
And he
Right.
doesn't.
He's
not.
like, don't you understand, kid? You're a
Right.
rookie and you'll always be a rookie.
You look up rookie in the dictionary, you'll see your face.
Except you won't because they don't know who you are because you're just a rookie.
Right.
It was like, oh my God, shut up.
It was just
dude.
really.
Yeah,
Yeah.
at that point in the movie, just why is this? I don't need this.
That scene felt like, Sci-Fi Channel is just like, listen, we got to get to 2 hours with
jokes.
commercials.
Fill it with nothing.
Can you
This
give us-
and the movie has commercial breaks in it.
Yes.
It goes to black and comes back.
Mhm.
So
And,
Yeah.
and while they're
There's
talking,
only like
Lazarus,
twice in the movie though that it
it
actually
goes full fade to black.
that
yeah.
it affects the flow of the movie, like
Yeah,
because
yeah.
they do one during the car chase, and it's just like, oh man, that's weird.
well, how
Yeah.
awful of a place to put
Right.
a fade.
While they're talking, he runs behind their car. You see him run into the building.
Yeah, oh yeah, it's like comical
Oh wait, that's him getting
because they're just
into
like
her
nobody.
house.
They're like nobody's gonna get by us, and like just as they say that, he's like running behind
That's
them.
her. That's him getting into her.
That's what I
house.
thought. I thought the
I'm
cops
sorry,
happened
I
before.
screwed that up. I thought it was him getting back to the lab.
It
It's him
doesn't
getting
matter
into
though.
her
It's
house.
fine.
Because they were in even though their car had futuristic little vents on it, that was the outside world.
Yes.
Like
Right.
because they didn't know what Stitch looked like. They just knew that there was an army vet loose, like a crazy army vet loose in the city that they were trying to capture.
Oh yeah, he's like he hunts down pretty women and slashes
Right.
their faces with
Right.
a
Right.
That was
You
so
know, he-
weird.
Nobody said what?
What?
Where did that come
That had
from?
to be from like another script that Avery wrote or something like that. And he just
Oh,
wanted to put it in
Put
as
it
a
in
wink.
there in case you can't put it into anything else.
Right. So he's
Okay,
back.
now he's
he just
like,
walks back into the fucking
Dude,
building.
he's like, yeah, there's people with guns all over the place, and somehow he's just walking through them.
right.
It's
right.
insane.
It's- he just walk- yeah.
The funniest part of that is he does walk into the building, but he just pulls back up in his yellow car. There are people with guns chasing after him because they see the car. And
they don't do
like
anything.
he just walks into the door.
Yeah, there's not bullets hitting the building, missing him. He's just walking.
And thankfully, the chemical warfare room is
It's
right
right
there.
there.
It's right there. It's convenient.
And
Well, now I think he's had one more final flashback or something because now he's like, I know how to get in there. I know all the codes.
Right.
And he's just like, doo-doo-doo-doo, and he's like, opening
Well, he explains to
doors
Nia
and shit.
Peoples that like
That's
he's
right.
got the
That's
last
right,
blast.
that's right.
He's
He's
got
like the
all the
one at this
memories of
point.
all the people.
You're
He's
right.
like, I know what I am. I am everything.
So he grabs this nerve gas that everybody in the building knows what it is.
It's the VX
And
nerve gas.
VX nerve
from the
gas.
Rock. From
Yes.
the Rock. Are you
Yeah,
crazy?
right,
Whatever. It's the VX
He
nerve
does
gas
take
from the
it.
Rock.
He
Yeah.
does take it from Tom Savini, who he chokes
Yes.
out. And
Yeah.
And Tom Savini calls him. He's like, we got to breach. Everybody's going to
he's got the
die.
nerve gas. So he finds the general dude who's with number 4.
And the whole movie, for some reason, turns into clown vision. right
Yeah,
here.
yeah. The rest
Oh,
of
he
the movie
looks
is like
so-
a fish eye clown
it's
vision.
so
They
weird.
just
It looks
smeared
like
a
the
bunch of
aspect
grease
gets squished.
on the lens and cranked the fish
And
eye up.
again,
It was
some
just
of
like,
that is
here-
the quality of the copy that we
Yeah.
watched.
But it was the aspect.
They,
But
they
yeah.
did
It
something
looked bad.
to it. It looked weird. I was
No,
like,
no,
is
no,
this
it-
actually happening?
And the camera never stops moving either.
Yeah.
So it's just like I think it's just supposed to mean like the number 4 is just like so insane and pure evil that it like warps the room
Reality
itself.
around him.
Because the
Okay.
general wasn't that crazy the first time you see him either,
No,
but
no,
he's
but
like
he
a
was all
cartoon
crazy.
now.
Sleazy. Yeah, now he's just like
Yeah.
over the top, being like, "Well, I'm going to take over the whole world
Right.
with my army of these things. So fuck you. Who cares about you?
Pretty
Who cares
much.
about this company? Who cares about the American government? I'm going to take over everything."
So yeah, he steals his gun, seals him in, and breaks the nerve gas. He kills the general and number 4. He doesn't seem to be
Affected
phased
by
by it. He also, you never see him. And I think this was intentional, possibly for the series,
Yeah,
just
you
possibly
never
for the
see him
movie.
actually-
You never see him breathe because, like the other 2, number 4 wouldn't know not to breathe, and
Right.
the general.
Yep.
Right. Yeah, he doesn't.
So he might just be able to hold his breath
Breath
really
forever.
long.
Because he did, well, yeah, like we said, we don't see him eat or poop or anything, so he
He's
might
like,
not need
he's
to
like a
breathe,
Superman.
honestly.
Right.
Yeah.
He probably
Doesn't
doesn't need to breathe.
anything.
So, like,
He can
I
live in
imagine that they
space.
could have easily.
Outside of a ship.
Just fling me out there. I'll find some.
Yeah.
Yeah, they could have easily explained him into the rest of the series
Yes.
after
Yeah,
that
yeah.
scene. But I mean, like they play it like, oh, you know, we all have to die. We're the last of it. Oh, he uses Ron Perlman's secret backdoor code that he mentioned in one of the flashbacks.
Oh, yeah,
so
to
he
delete
deletes
the
the entire
mainframe.
database
Deletes the database.
and self-destruct everything else.
Right.
But the end of the movie is just like, all right, Mr. Stitch theoretically is dead. Nia Peoples just walks out of the fucking building like nothing's
Yeah.
happening, looks at the moon, and then movie ends.
The movie ends. It's
Right.
very anticlimactic.
Yeah.
But again, they
Extremely.
didn't shoot the whole
They
movie.
didn't
But
shoot the
at the
movie,
same
yeah.
time, it was a scene involving Nia Peoples, so like she didn't have a problem. You know,
No.
they could have written something else for her. But
it did feel like him storming the thing didn't feel like the end of the movie. You
Right.
know what I mean? It felt like, oh, this is the like where the
climax
bottom
of the
drops
episode.
out of the whole. Oh, in a movie, it felt like this is where the bottom drops out, and then they have to do something else, kind
Right.
of thing. Like
Right,
he would go
right.
there, and then number 4 would be active. The nerve gas thing wouldn't have worked, and then they'd have to actually do like plan a thing. But it wasn't. It was just like, oh, everything worked, and we're
Yeah.
all dead. And the movie's
Bye.
over.
Bye.
See you next week.
Hope you
On
like-
Lazarus. I mean, I know
I will-
Sean's answer, but would you recommend people watch this? I would.
It's pretty out there.
I mean,
Yeah,
do
I'm-
it when you're not sleep deprived. Number
Yeah.
one.
That's a good.
That's
Yeah,
a good
because
thing, 'cause it is not exciting for the first half.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And
it's
then-
not. It's not necessarily boring
No.
if you've had sleep, but it is not exciting.
Yeah, it's
Because
No,
the
yeah,
first half has
It's
tons of
interesting.
weird shit. In
it's
it,
very
you know?
weird
It's-
and calm, and
Right.
then it gets nuts.
I was very
Yeah.
disappointed. You were right. Like at the beginning, I
Oh,
was
yeah,
like,
yeah.
I cannot wait to see what the outside world looks like if
And
this is what
and
a
I'm like, don't get
what a
too
science
excited.
lab looks
It's
like
just-
because it's
Just the normal
Earth.
thing. All
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, I was kind of.
Where are all the eyeballs?
Yeah, I
stuff?
wanted floating eyeballs all over the like
Everybody
armored
has a
floating
floating eyeball.
eyeballs.
Floating eyeball.
Everybody owns one.
Well,
Oh, this is my
thought
familiar.
It was Rutger Hauer's sidekick.
Right.
That's what I thought.
So I just thought he was like an observation eyeball.
Droid or something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I guess. Yeah, it was weird. I wish
Because it was always watching whoever was talking.
Yeah.
Like intently
and constantly like focusing.
Right.
Well, I guess this is the first.
I don't know. I guess maybe
this might be the
it's
first
fun.
TV movie we've ever done. I think.
Yeah, and it's a TV movie in name. It's
hard,
literally a TV movie, but it's like it's weird. It's an odd duck, and that's why it's obscure.
I mean, the fact that the cast is like a murderer's row,
Right.
and Roger Avary's involvement as writer-director is
You know,
very
you
obscure,
were like,
so-
I can't believe I haven't heard of this. So-
Yeah, it's just like how. Well, look at that cast.
Yeah. Well, as they kept going, I kept going, what?
What?
Huh?
What?
And I will
yeah,
say,
then Ron Perlman was last. And we're like, wait
What?
a minute.
What's happening here?
I will say that like because I found this movie.
Or no, Taylor Negron was last.
Oh,
that's
right.
right. Yeah, Taylor
What
Negron.
I found this movie because I got a screener at work, but I bought a copy that wasn't a screener. That and it is a different rating. That's why I didn't want to watch the other version. It's definitely a few minutes shorter, but I got that copy when Movie Time Video closed. That's the only other time I've
place
seen a
that I
copy out
used
in
to
the
manage.
wild.
Yay.
Mr. Stitch. See,
Mr.
we
Stitch.
could have been watching Mr. Stitch fucking
could've.
15 years ago.
I obviously didn't know about this.
Do
movie.
better inventory.
You know what? Movie Time didn't do inventory. That
Oh,
was-
wow.
They never. We didn't have
That's
that.
insane.
That's unreal.
Well,
How would you ever know if
but,
nothing ever...
Blockbuster was a corporation,
right.
whereas Movie Time was mom and pop owned.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
but
they-
how would you not know, like, what you have? Like, you can't just infinitely add movies to a
I think
store.
it was cheaper to just let those errors happen than pay employees to
For the
stay throughout
time.
the night.
Yeah. Oh, inventory nights were no fucking joke.
No joke. Right, and it was
Because you
overtime,
close at
too.
midnight and then you start inventory. You're there till 3 or 4 in the morning.
Right, and so I just think they just.
That's right.
didn't do that for
You did it at Errol's?
No,
no.
I was a Blockbuster store
Blockbuster,
manager.
that's
I
right.
worked at a mom and pop too when I was younger, but
Yeah, Movie Time did not do that.
fair enough.
Yeah. All right.
So yeah, Mr.
Mr.
Stitch.
Stitch.
Mr. Stitch.
I highly recommend it. I highly recommend it, especially if you want to get intoxicated and watch it.
Definitely.
Because of the stark white for the first
Oh my god.
hour of the
yes.
movie,
It
It's not
feels like
visually boring or
it's like
anything.
they filmed
which is
it in
crazy
a Puff
since it's
Daddy
stark white.
video in
Yeah,
the
you're right.
90s. Like the whole opening is like, all right, we got 10 minutes before Puff Daddy gets back in here. Let's film a scene.
Right.
We can't switch the lens
Yeah.
off the camera because I can't do that. But
Michael and Janet
Run
aren't
in.
going to come back in the room for another 20 minutes.
yeah, the
Come
screen
on,
video.
it's a 70s
Yeah, the
cinema
screen
video.
video
Like, just
set.
film stuff. It's
Yeah,
fine.
it's really crazy.
Yeah, it does look nuts. Yeah,
And all the close zoom ins on people's faces, like
Right.
super.
Yeah. You were like hoping that one zoom.
Yeah,
kept
that
going.
one
Kept
zoom
going,
sort
their-
of kept
their
going. That was so
eye.
good. Just back and forth between them, getting closer and
Yeah.
closer and closer and closer.
yeah.
I mean, like the cool things about it, it's like Wil Wheaton doesn't suck in it.
Nope.
It's like it's probably like the most range he's ever shown in any role.
At the same time, it's hilarious that it's him
Right.
because it's such a
by
not.
concept of
It's not like it's a thankless role because it's silly,
Mm-hmm.
right.
but serious as fuck. He's a murderer. He's tragic, but he also looks like a dog boy.
Right.
Yeah, he just looks like
Yeah.
fucking dumb. His hair looks
Well, I'm
like
sure.
Mr. Fantastic was in Castaway.
Right.
It just looks
Well, it's like a
weird.
wig from Cats.
Yeah.
Is what
Yeah.
it looks
yeah,
like. Yeah,
it just looks weird.
It's just like tufts of blonde hair in the
Right.
middle of, yeah.
a bunch of grays. It's all over the place.
Yeah,
I don't know. It is fucking weird as hell. If you love weird shit, like that's why I said if they made a TV show and David Lynch directed the TV show, it'd be
Right.
amazing because it would get
Or-
super
Or
esoteric.
Roger Avery.
Or
I
And
mean,
like
or
all
I was
these
gonna
dream
say, just
sequences of him
incorporate
remembering
this
stuff.
building into Twin Peaks.
Yeah,
right.
Just have that building. Just
That's
put it
the
in.
end game in Twin Peaks.
Is this the chemical weapons meat person building? What was his name again? Way back was
Wake Bender,
Wakeman?
Wakeman, the Wakeman building. Yeah, that's where everybody has to go.
Dr. Wakeboard.
You go there and you give a piece of your body, and then make a Frankenstein.
All right.
All right.
Well, thank you.
Thanks, Sean.
Oh, you're welcome.
All right, bye.
You've just listened to Bonus Disc, available only on Thundergrunt. Questions, complaints, and movie suggestions can be posted to facebook.com/bonusdisc. Opinions and criticisms of the hosts of Bonus Disc are 100% valid, even though they took the time to watch the movies you were too ignorant to appreciate.